Good evening, it is Wednesday, the 29th of May, and it is 6:02. We're calling to order the Ag Committee meeting. And you'll all please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call. I think we'll start with Mr. Kelly down there and work towards me.
Okay, Paul Kelly, General Manager.
Dennis, Wilson, Woodman.
Robert Wharton, volunteer ag member.
Scott McVeigh, I chair the Ag Committee. I'm on the board of directors. We have some visitors. Welcome. Do you have anything you want to speak on prior to we jumping into the agenda? Any comments, questions?
Just here to check this out.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate you coming here. All right, well then we're just gonna kind of jump into it. We're gonna have to skip over the survey because Director Logan is not here. So we're gonna jump right into the farmer's market. Each of you has a copy of the flyers there in front of you that the staff here made up, the colored ones. I assume you guys have seen it also?
No.
No? There may be one or two available back there. These were made up. I took some and I posted them at the 2 grocery stores to some of the local churches. And I had a bunch of these done up in black and white. And I took them to the Strawberry Festival over the weekend to the Citizens Patrol booth to be handed out. So that was an attempt to get some interest in the community. I also gave 2 to Bonnie's Burgers, and that's where the farmer's market's gonna be, and they posted those. But I heard today that they actually posted that on a website, and that Director Fickus picked up on that and then posted it on Friends of Happy Valley, and has received more than 50 likes and a whole bunch of positive comments. So it sounds like this is something that the community definitely has wanted. Can I ask, how's the A-frame sign going?
It's going well for a man of my age. I have bought 2 sheets of half-inch thick, 2x4, 4x4 wouldn't fit in my car, smooth plywood. I've got the background paint, which is Rust-Oleum semi-gloss white I've used on my post bid. And earlier today, I couldn't figure out how I was gonna draw. I don't have to. Walmart sells letters small and large.
Yes.
I can get the letters, paint them green, and then just put them real thin, double-sided tape to where I like them. Once they're there where I like them, then I just screw them down and it'll look good. And
I like
I have
that.
a 5-foot step ladder that we can use instead of a sawhorse. It fits perfectly over it. And just,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. One of the things we're gonna discuss tonight, we'll do a little bit, is where are we gonna store a couple of things? The sign, because you may not be available to be it every Saturday when we have the farmer's market. I'm gonna provide a trash can with a liner so that we don't burden Bonnie's Burgers. And I'm gonna provide a cleaning kit for the porta park that has to be there. So, let's move on to, I don't know, you may not have had a chance to read them. We have our fine general manager with comments.
Just a couple of things to mention. Our committee volunteer, Robert Wharton, had given most this letter that had a lot of his research on some of the other facilities out there and places. So I did, he brought a copy so that I was able to make copies and PDF it so that you got it in email and you have copies there.
Right.
And there's copies in the back in case anybody wants that. So just for some background, thank you very much. In my little memo here, we have just a couple of items that I listed of things to do, and I know you're going to cover things like volunteer sign up and all the rest. The other item I would just mention is, our admin assistant has moved on to another position. So, I think I will get it figured out on how to get the PDF posted on our website as well.
Good.
So that, that would give access to other Facebook folks to grab the picture and do it electronically. So that hopefully will help with that element of things. And then I know we've got some other items like potential hold harmless agreements
Yes,
and
I
a few other things that we need to talk about. And then the last would be, I did get a contact, well, two last things, to the Igo Ono, and I think I sent you that
Yes,
phone
you
number.
did. I haven't called.
And I've just, since we've had so many staff changes, I haven't had a chance to follow up. And also, that flyer should be in everybody's bill when they receive it sometime Monday, probably.
Probably Monday.
It doesn't arrive Monday, as well as it'll be, it's in the newsletter, just at the top, refer to the flyer that it's coming.
Right.
And then I will just say I got very fortunate finding a really awesome, colorful template online, and because that is well beyond my creative abilities.
I'm glad you did it. It does look good. Anything else?
That was it.
All right, why don't we start with the waiver? This is a waiver and release of liability. I found this online. It's a basic boilerplate. It allows you to plug and play. So if you read through it, you'll see that we are listed, and maybe we should discuss that. Cooler Creek CSD, along with Bonnie's Burger et al., with our addresses.
Just quick background thing. You also have in front of you an item that our insurance carrier had sent us months ago as a template.
Yeah.
There's multiple. There's option 1, and option 2, and option 3. Truthfully, I think as Director McFay, I sent these to him as well as a template that he has.
Right.
It's more a template that contemplates an outside organization doing a farmer's market on district property.
Yes.
And so it has a whole bunch of insurance stuff. I took some of that out, but ultimately it's really overdone.
Yes.
I think what we really want is something that each vendor gets and signs, so that, mostly to protect Bonnie's Burgers, and it's their property.
Right.
I would say there's pros and cons to having a district named in that waiver. We are not an official sponsor of this. We are a facilitator of it because of the committee. So by having our name on there, it implies that we're doing more than I think we're doing. On the other hand, if we have at least 2 directors that are involved, and if they're out there volunteering, I want them to be held harmless, as well. So,
But that includes the other community
Yes.
members also, because it specifically lists members, agents, volunteers, their heirs, whatnot, indemnified from, anything.
my only other last suggestion is we probably should just take that to the owners of Bonnie's to make sure.
I intend to tomorrow morning, usually in the morning.
You could possibly just stick in a statement that describes that the district is not sponsoring this event.
That's awesome suggestion. We should probably.
And that should be in the minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you 2 gentlemen have read through it at all, if you have no objections, we will call this the official.
I have no objections to it.
This will allow the vendors to print their name, sign the name, and date it. And then we will hold this copy, okay? I guess I'm gonna, because I'm chair, I'm gonna be elected So we have that done. Next is the, opening checklist. Since we're running the second and fourth Saturdays of the month, and it starts at 8, we need to be there at least half an hour beforehand. And the number one priority is open the porta potty door and let it air out. That's the first thing you do, because you gotta understand, it's gonna be there for 2 weeks closed, unused.
In the heat.
In the heat, exactly. So you open it, you check it for cleaning and stocking, and then the A-frame sign would be set up out in the corner. The trash can that I'll provide can be set out there, and then we'll have a clipboard for the waivers there. So if there's a vendor that shows up and wants to be there, we have them available. The next thing would be after the market is done for the day, we have to make sure that we return that lot in good condition to Bonnie's Burgers, picking up any trash that's partly for the trash can, check the porta potty, collect the A-frame sign, the trash can, the cleaning kit, the clipboard, and return them to the holding site. And since I'm less than a quarter of a mile away, I might as well put them in my shop and hold them.
Okay.
And then if, the last item would be providing a count of the number of vendors that were there. And I'd like that because that tells us where we're going. If we went from 15 day one to 40 on the next one, we need to maybe adjust things. I have on a list of things for myself, the possibility of going down and buying some powder paint to mark off stalls if necessary, all right? Yeah, let's get our other director up here in his chair. Good evening.
Good evening. My apologies.
Nah, how's the family?
Oh, good.
Good, that's important.
It's the word thing that's killing.
Yeah, it is.
Brains arrived, all right.
The brain is.
So you go ahead and start looking at some of the things that caught up. We have a waiver, and we're just starting to touch base on the checklist,
Okay.
okay? And you had a question.
Yeah, question, comment.
Your name, please, for the record.
Caitlin Patrick.
Thank you.
So for the waiver, would you have them do one waiver for the season as a vendor, or would you do them every,
Oh, no, for the season.
okay. So that
If
was
you only
fine.
come one time, you've been there.
That's
But
it.
if you come one time, you only want to do the 4th Saturdays because you have other things going. You've signed your waiver, you've dated it, it's good until through the last Saturday in October.
Perfect. And then the other thing was, maybe doing a sign-in sheet for each of the vendors, so they might have done their waiver, but have it like their sign-in sheet, so if you have 15 the first weekend, and then the following weekend you have
That is a
40,
possibility, I
doing a
appreciate
sign-in
that.
sheet that way, and then maybe having a checkbox on there being that they've already signed their waiver, they can check that box, so that way you guys can cover bases, and then if they didn't check it, you'd be like, oh, that's that vendor, I need to go get them to sign their waiver real quick, so that way it's on file.
How do you guys feel about that? A sign-up sheet as a check for vendors?
Well, we need to know who's there.
Yeah,
first,
sure
so we
enough.
need to contact them, and then we need to let them know this is a standard thing, because some people can get frightened by it. It just
Oh, I
means
know.
that if you step in something you don't see and twist your ankles on you, it's
Right.
basically,
All right.
because it's
I
not a
appreciate that.
dangerous place.
No.
Not like going down.
The owners mowed the field just a few days ago also.
Yeah, I think too, the sign-in sheet would be great to have vendor, contact name, cell phone number,
Right.
check off if you checked in, just in case you need to get a hold of them or something.
I like the idea. Thank you. Yes, Dennis?
And then there should be, the rules, copies of the rules. So when an outside vendor or, somebody just shows up, that they understand what they can sell and not sell and
Okay.
what the rules, just, general rules.
I agree with you. Do we wanna take time and do that now? Probably would be a good idea to get, because our first one is in less than 30 days. And it would be nice to have those typed up and given out as the vendors come in.
I would say even have a master copy with like laminated master copy.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Maybe set up a small table for the waivers, the sign-in sheets, etc. So whoever's in charge that day has a place to sit, they can control paperwork, you can greet people. Okay,
Did you say some of the people that do the small farmers market in Iowa may be here for ours?
we're gonna contact them.
We're gonna contact
Some
them.
interest.
My guess is there may be one or two that'd be interested. So, I think we already had talked a little bit, but we should probably put down what our general rules are.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that was pointed out on the waiver that we don't wanna use is the sale of alcohol and other things like that.
Correct.
And having a liquor license and all that other stuff, so I mean, we probably should, at least initially, make sure that we aren't allowing things like that. And then we want it to be, obviously, produce, crafts are fine, you know, I don't know, I don't remember all the list of stuff that we talked about, but.
We wrote some stuff.
Produce, crafts, baked goods, or pre-cooked, maybe is a better term.
And,
Eggs,
the meat wasn't gonna sell.
no fresh meat.
But if you wanted to be a vendor saying here, if you wanna buy half.
If
half,
they want to
Right.
set up a table and have business cards and flyers, I'm happy with that. Dennis, Firewise will the Firewise be setting up anything there? They're welcome to.
I doubt it.
Okay. Just, it's an opportunity.
Yeah, we did an event a week ago, and not very many,
Some of us didn't hear about it.
there was probably a dozen that stopped in, and we had the state there, CAL FIRE, Fire Safe Council, we had speakers, we had the fire department there, we had a woman selling books for youngsters, and nobody came. We stuck posters up at the schools and talked to each school, I think 6 of them, and I don't know, they just don't come.
Well, a booth, or a table with the awning and handing out materials at some point during the summer might be a worthy.
Yeah.
We could do it maybe from time to time.
All right, maybe once a month.
Yeah, once a month.
Okay, I'd be happy with that. Let's talk about some of the no's. No alcohol sales, no fresh meat. I put down just no foul language. This should be a community event.
Sure.
Okay? How about rules, leave other vendors' setups alone? In other words, you may not like your neighbor or someone from across town who's selling the same thing, but don't mess with them. You're here, so you stay at your own spot. Are there other no's that we should have on this list? I hate to be negative, but you kinda have to say, you can't do this.
Yeah, there should be a statement, and it hasn't gotta be a real strong one, but still to the point, that if you don't follow the rules, you'd be asked to leave.
Right.
I would add with the alcohol, no tobacco or drug paraphernalia, because who's to say
Thank
somebody
you.
won't bring something of a baked good?
So how do you feel about CBD then?
I wouldn't say a farmer's market.
I understand that, but I gotta bring it up because.
It's a welfare treatment that comes from marijuana, is that what it is?
Yeah,
That beats me.
well, we have to kind of decide, is this something that we will allow or not? And people in the, audience, I think you have a right to, raise your hand and say, hey, I'd like to comment. So if you have an opinion, put your hand up and let us know.
We actually get a
We're
lot
trying
of
to do
good
this
ideas from
for you
comments.
guys, we're doing this for the community. I'm not gonna get paid, in fact, it's gonna cost you money to do this. So,
You have to have a license to produce it. I mean, you have to have a license legally.
well, there may be
to
people who have it legally, wanna take the opportunity to display it.
I didn't see anything like that at the Reading Farmers Market, Heather, so probably,
Maybe,
or at least at the start, we probably should not just say that's not part of what we're gonna do.
fair enough.
Yeah, I think you can. At some point, there may be a future vendor that may wanna bring some craft or product, like instead of jam, it might be oil, or something
Yeah.
like that.
But
That
do
may
they
not,
have to, I don't know what the law is on that particular item, whether it has to be in a licensed location or not.
usually it does.
Usually, so we might not have to worry about it at all.
I think where you draw the line is consumable. Because
Brownies?
yeah, right, but like, they make CBD gummies and we get the benefits of
You know,
CBD
and
with
I
that,
think-
whatever. But there's a difference between that kind of product and a woman that makes soaps and lotions and sells those as an artisan
Yes.
that's topical.
And there's a difference between that. and
So-
these too.
Right, because it's still is a segment of agriculture. I'm sure it's a segment of agriculture out here in Happy Valley. We don't wanna get involved in sales and all of that, but if,
I don't wanna be busted.
yeah, exactly. But I think if you topical,
Because I was wondering if, when we said no alcohol, no tobacco or drugs, and by listing drugs, does that cover it? Because CBD oils are a drug.
It's a medicine. And so all drugs, all medicines are
Well,
drugs.
we're not gonna allow them to sell aspirin either.
No, is
So, drugs.
acetic acid or self.
Anyway.
you're gonna make some gal selling sage really bad.
That's herbal though.
Well,
Not
is it?
classified as drugs.
It's medicinal to a certain extent.
Are you talking about sage?
Yes, but it was in jest.
Oh, okay.
I understand, there's a fine
I
line
know.
there somewhere.
I know,
And we may be wasting our time running.
it's
through.
worth talking about. Absolutely.
So,
Well, can I just quickly ask, Mr. Wharton, do you recall seeing anything like that at the Reading Farmers Market?
Say again.
Did you recall seeing anything at the
No.
Reading Farmers Market
No, nothing,
that
nothing.
had like do's and don'ts?
No, and I went to the crafts fair too that same day, and I saw goat soap. People were making soap from goat's milk. And I actually know the guy who's retired, and some police sergeant, him and his wife are breeding the goats.
so what about essential oils from lavenders and other things?
That would-
Yeah, no, that's why the point that I'm making is that if you,
Consumable is a great way to do it.
but consumable in what way? Like
No consumable.
orally consumable? Like, if somebody's making soap, it's consumable. You're going to
You're
consume
right.
it, it's gonna go down the drain, but
Ingestible.
ingestible.
But unless my kids are swearing, I'm not
Or
using it in the restaurant.
topical, can you say topical only?
I mean, I think you could. I think that would,
I think topical would be the best because then people who use like tobacco essential oils in like lotions or soaps,
yes.
you're saying no tobacco, but it is a topical application and not ingestible.
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe
mean
that's
for
the term we
women,
need,
it's sort of
topical.
a kid fentanyl patches, which is a killer narcotic, topical, and other things like that.
Well, but, I'm sorry. Isn't that a class 1 drug?
Fentanyl,
Okay.
well, no, yes, it is class
Yes,
one.
class 1.
But they're
And I think no
declassified
drugs cover
marijuana
that.
from class 1 to 3.
I think we're digging ourselves a hole that we can make it hard to climb out of if we
Yeah.
get too far down this rabbit hole.
No fentanyl patches.
If a person is wearing one, that's their business.
That's right.
Okay? Maybe they have,
We just don't want to sell them
No,
Yeah.
no, okay. Anything else in reference to things that we will not allow?
Smoking,
I got that.
okay. Both
Although it's
types.
outdoors, can I limit that?
Well, you're not supposed to be smoking within so many feet of a building, and I think Reading Farmers Market does, you're not supposed to be smoking within the vicinity of the market itself.
Ah,
I don't know what the exterior,
plus we're
Footage
gonna be
is-
on, cut grass that could catch fire.
Sure, yeah.
But that means that, Dennis, you mentioned before the meeting started about a sign for the people coming to visit. Maybe that should be on the sign too. For everybody, no smoking.
That would be all right.
Enter at your own risk, no smoking, no consuming alcohol,
Yeah,
you know, whatever,
right.
something like that. So we might have to have that as a sign on the table. that we
Those
set up.
are easy, if they're pre-made, and you can just get a backing form, they go on a sticker on the table, however you want.
Yeah, something like that.
would it be just tobacco cigarettes or would it be vaping as well?
Are we back to the rabbit hole?
Or 420 on top of it?
Yeah.
And if it's supposed to be a family-friendly event sort of thing, I don't know. Not to add more worms to your can.
That'd be, I don't know.
Do we need to have signs out there? Don't do this, don't do that.
Well, no participation in adult activities.
Oh, come on.
That covers
Just
the broad
broad
spectrum.
TMI.
Up to and including da-da-da-da-da.
No thanks.
Mr. Chairman, I, just kind of looked up on, it was the California Farmers Markets Association, trying to find if they have any templates for like do's and don'ts, but they don't have, but one of the things they have is, they have, quote, participation instructions. So that might be one way to have a
Okay.
flyer when you sign up. In other words, arrive at the site 15 minutes before, check in with the volunteer manager, you know, please be there for the full time of the event. It has,
Can you send that to me? Are you gonna be able to? Or give me a link?
I'm gonna try. I'll try
Okay.
that. But a couple of things they do say here is their rules, they don't have a whole lot of rules. They basically say solicitation or acceptance of monetary donations is not allowed.
Uh-huh.
Food items, including candy, are not to be passed out. In other words, they don't want you leaving your booth and walking up and down trying to
Right.
solicit people. Sales of food, sales of tickets basically are prohibited.
In other words, soliciting for a raffle or
Right.
whatever.
But this one is a little bit different, you know, it's just kind of free. But that's one I found, I'm sure there might be
I like
others.
that. That's probably a good idea.
See, I wouldn't be opposed to the raffle situation though, because
I know, I wouldn't either.
there are local farm ranches that will do a raffle, you pay $5 for your ticket, whatever, for a chance to win like a half cow.
I see what you're saying.
So that's,
And since we're trying to do this for the community, if the high school football team or the girls,
right,
whatever sport, hockey, softball, is trying to do a fundraiser, I'm not against them coming in.
Yeah.
right.
I read it as one of the things on their
Yeah,
list, I don't think we
understand.
want that.
Since we're small scale, not a
Yeah,
big situation.
it'd be great if the school PTA would show up and have a booth and sell raffle tickets, if there's money, that'd be great.
So fundraisers for community groups, okay. All right, how we doing? Anybody?
The thing I liked the most about that sheet was that the headline wasn't farmers market rules, it was participant instructions, so I thought that was a nice way to.
Yeah.
So we're attempting to offer a service for the community here, and it's kind of a conglomerate effort. A lot of different people are gonna be involved in this, and.
Well, eventually, because our job is to facilitate it,
Right.
and then get it functioning fairly well and turn it over to the community.
So yes, so there will be a variety of participants. I guess this is what we're creating, but a framework for which
Yes.
to judge their business practices, if that makes sense.
Oh, I see.
And so if you're operating questionably, how do we make a decision that that might be happening and intervene to correct that or limit your access to?
And what involvement do we have if someone says, hey, I gave you a 20
Right.
and you want to give me change for a 10? Do we get involved?
Yes.
Probably not.
Dennis is right. No, we're not supposed to.
There's
Otherwise, we
no-
become the sponsors of it,
Yeah, right.
and that puts us into a legal situation.
There used to be an unofficial growers association when I first got gas from Thompson's Gas in that Valero little shopping center.
Yeah.
And the lady that was the office manager was part of that unofficial growers association. I think the goal is to eventually have an official nonprofit growers association that handles everything. We're just kind of giving the structure so someone can pick it up and flush it out.
Well, yeah, we're trying to build, like Logan said, a basic framework, and then allow, hopefully, the community to pick up on it and run with it. I'm hoping there are some growers out there who are willing to take it on. I don't particularly want to run this for the next 10 years.
Well, so, would we want, since, some local person that's involved to be, to do some kind of general supervising?
Oh, absolutely, and then report back to the ag committee,
Right.
how it's going, periodically, you know, late March, early April, we're getting ready for it, we got these things going on, or we're planning on moving over to the community center because it's grown a lot, you know.
Right.
And then, you know, maybe, 2 or 3 times during the growing season, they report back to the ag committee, either in an email or something, because we'll still go there and shop ourselves, and we'll also hear from other community members if it's
Right.
going all right. Then maybe a follow-up in November. Maybe they come to the board meeting in November, and they do a short presentation of how it went and whatnot.
Sure.
But, by the same token, if it stays at Bonnie's, I will, you know, want to hear from them if there are issues. And then we would have to address it with them.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
So I think too, just looking at further on a couple of items here, to be on the positive side too, I think we need something on there that says, sell what you grow, raised, or produced. There's a little line that they have in here. Another little byline is, we sell only what we produce. Because it appears that one of the little challenges that a lot of farmers markets have is, so the other line they have, producers may include agricultural and horticultural producers, home bakers, small family-owned commercial bakeries. All products sold at the market must be grown, raised, or produced by the vendor. The resale of purchased items from another producer or business is prohibited.
I like that.
In other words,
That will prevent our, market guy from coming in.
that's really what it's trying to prevent.
Yeah.
Somebody that
That's
went to
good.
Costco and bought a big flat of grapes
And sells them.
turn around and re. Now, are we gonna be able to figure that out in some cases? Probably not, but at least having that in our participation rules.
Now, in the participation rules, since we are not a certified market, should we say something about no scales?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. No scales to be used. How would you word that? No scales, piece sales only? Or sales by the piece?
Well, yes, sales by the piece, by volume, not by weight, something like that.
Okay.
By volume is a good distinction, because yeah, if you do have a package of grapes.
There's a lot of people that do this home kitchen thing, and it went up to 75K of revenue. I don't know how much
Yeah.
income would be there. There's quite a few. Then there's the rental kitchens in the north end of what used to be the mall, that people go in there and rent and bake and then sell. And those people are probably public record at the health department, that has to approve their kitchen, and of course the one down here, that's approved, so they might not have a public record there, but we could let them know that we have this thing going, and then they might wanna come out and sell their bakers and cookies and that type of stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like these suggestions so far. What else does that little handheld tell you?
The joy of Google.
Yes, absolutely. My favorite search engine.
Quick comment to the, somebody claims they gave the vendor a 20 and they gave a change back of a 10 instead. Sorry. Maybe do something in our signage of, we are not responsible for what transpires with the vendors. So that way, consumer is not coming back to the board or
That's-
whoever's managing saying, oh, well, this vendor didn't X, Y, Z, well, you're buying it.
If we're not to get involved in those incidents, then that's a very good point to make.
Yes.
But we don't wanna scare people off. We don't wanna make them think the vendors are actually, you can't say gypsy anymore because that's racist, but traveling, so to speak, or itinerant. She needs these.
How many pages of disclaimers do we need for this?
Mhm.
I'm trying to keep us focused on the basics,
Mhm.
and I don't want a 20-page disclaimer for
Sure. Yeah,
everybody to read.
we can, yeah, we don't wanna scare anyone off, but and I don't think at Reading that the association gets involved in a vendor dispute with change.
Exactly, right. I brought it up as a possibility, probably wasted my breath doing it.
Mhm.
Okay. Dennis, anything else?
No.
No, Robert?
No. Do the ladies have anything? Again, we have a lot of great ideas. Oh, sorry.
That's my job,
Sorry, excuse me.
and I haven't had a chance to ask again.
It's the authority of that carried me.
I have nothing else.
Okay, so when you're running a committee,
I know.
the chairman actually runs and determines how it goes. Thank you, not a problem. Caitlin, anybody else, any comments on this? Do you have any thoughts or suggestions?
You guys are doing great.
Oh, well, thank you. All right, we'll work on that and have that.
Who's gonna type up just a rough draft of the rules?
My wife and I are gonna do that, and I'm gonna get some information from Paul
Okay.
to work on that. Let's move on to the sign-up dates. There are 9 total, okay? So you each have a sign-up list. On mine, I get to write who's signing up. So, and if you'll read the very bottom, it says if you cannot cover your day/days, you must arrange for someone else to cover. And give them at least a 2 days head up. Okay? In other words, don't call me and say, I can't be there this morning, it's 7 o'clock.
How many people we looking to show on each day?
A minimum of 1. If people wanna come, if you guys all wanna come the first day, fine. I don't care. But, it has to be at least 1 person.
I can come on the first day, but I'd like to have someone with me that knows a little bit more about this than me.
Okay, why don't you shadow me for 1 or 2 of those?
You gotta be there first day.
Oh, absolutely.
Good. I'll be the older guy with the carnation, you can't miss me.
I will take July 27th and August 10th, if that's okay.
August 10th?
Yep.
Okay. Dennis,
I'll take the 13th.
of July?
Right. And the end of September.
And the end of September, the 28th. Okay, let me think of where my commitments are. Okay, I have commitments in June, but I'll be able to get away with the 22nd. and also in August and October, every other month, on Saturday mornings. I can get around most of it, but, you know, I may be there to set up and then have to take off, so there's the problems with those. So, I would be fine taking September 14th. And then I'm gonna have to figure out what about, so we still have the 2 October and the 1 in August. Robert, how do you feel?
I can take more once I get her.
Well, you wanna work with me on the first day?
Yeah, definitely, that's when I'm
Gentlemen?
gonna be there on the 22nd, and what's the next day you're gonna be there?
September 14th, but I need August 24th covered. Can you cover that one? Maybe you can come with, Dennis or Logan.
Can you come on the 24th?
No, I'm talking about maybe prior to that, like on the 10th.
Yeah, I'll be the 27th and the 10th, so if you wanted to come on the 10th.
But if you came in on the 10th with Logan, then would you be comfortable enough by then to cover the 24th?
Probably.
Okay.
And I'll take the, last of October.
The 26th? Okay. Being the last day, I will probably be there also. I just have to work it out. August 12th. That is the second Saturday.
August 12th, October 12th.
October 12th, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of, I work with different groups, and I'm thinking, trying to remember who's there. And whether I can just,
What about the woman here,
The doctor.
the doctor?
I haven't heard from her, I can't plug her in yet until I know. And then we'll get together and I'll say, hey, do you wanna give up this one? She's willing to do it. But she's been busy and missed, what, the last 3 meetings, so.
Yeah. Well, I think you got all but one covered, so in some
I
ways
just
it's
plugged
not
myself
till
down to
October,
deal with
and then we can.
I'll take it. and
No,
if-
I can make arrangements.
Okay.
I know the group I'm supposed to work with that day. And, I'm okay with, being down. By the 12th of October, there should be no new vendors,
Yeah.
okay? So if I was to simply come in at 7:30 setup, I have to be at another location by 9. I could leave, go there, check in with them and just go, guys, lock up when you're done, take care of things, make sure.
Well, it sounds like maybe Logan, if you just put it down tentatively to kind of back you up a little bit on that.
Yeah, just put me down, and then if
Nah.
doctor, okay.
Nah, I'll take it. I'm gonna take 3, you guys can each have 2,
So,
and that's fine.
so,
That's on 9.
do we stay the entire,
Yes, you stay, because you have to clean up afterwards. You wanna make sure there's no trash, because we're not gonna return it to Bonnie's dirty.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things on the rules should be that the vendors remove their own trash,
right,
okay?
yeah.
There'll be a trash can there.
But I don't want their trash in the trash can, quite frankly, because otherwise we get this huge amount of trash to haul out, okay? Okay, what was I thinking? Okay.
I'll, say one thing, there was a time too during the Strawberry Festival where a vendor, was passing out things, good things to, youngsters, but there was, wrappers.
Individual wrap.
Yeah, small ones. And so
Right.
when the Strawberry Festival got done, the ground was littered.
Covered in little things, yes. Yeah, we don't want
And we had
that.
to go around and pick them.
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
You need, almost need a mower with a bag, bag it that way.
Big vacuum plan.
So how do you feel about samples by the vendors?
Why not?
Yeah, exactly, why not? I don't think it's a
That's a
problem.
pretty standard
Samples,
practice.
as long as they're not individually wrapped. Toothpick, try my peach,
Oh, yeah.
try a slice of my peach, or my strawberry, or whatever.
That's really a good sales technique, but we'd not give it up to them if they wanna do the sample, we just.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying, you know, we'll let them, but we wanna let them in a way that doesn't create work for us. Okay? You're welcome to bring down a friend to help you when you're down there on your own, so you're not all. Now, any objections to, after it's over, bringing the things to my house? I'm 200 yards away, just up the street.
Actually,
Actually,
for everybody to know, don't put it on the recording, but give me the address and the location in the shop or wherever you want it, and I'll send it out to the committee.
Fair enough.
That way your address isn't on the table.
Bonnie's Burgers, a house, a dirt road that I own, a field, my property.
Right.
Oh, for this recording, somebody drove by my property late afternoon and opened both my gates and then drove off. I didn't see who it was, but, you know, and I've heard this happening in the community. So if anybody sees this recording, somebody's running around doing it again. And
Was it a
happened
red
today.
Toyota Prius?
I did not see who. It happened while I was here on another meeting. And when I got home, both the gates were open. And I did not appreciate someone doing
Yeah,
that.
visible livestock in there.
No, these were driveway gates, I have two. My livestock are kept in pastures, and there's only one gate and it's padlocked. Actually, there's two gates padlocked, so they can't be opened. The other gates are internal gates. But no, my two main driveway gates were just opened and,
And no indication anyone ever came up to the door and knocked?
nope, nothing. Anyway.
All right, well, I think you've got your schedule, and so maybe we can coordinate on getting that. I can send that out to everybody.
Okay.
And then, I sent you a link of some ideas on
Excellent.
what's possible to do there.
I appreciate that.
And then what we'll try to put together sort of, vendor participation guidelines or whatever we'll call it, something very, friendly.
Yes.
Versus do's and don'ts or rules
Yeah,
or whatever.
yes.
Um,
I understand.
and then, we'll figure out how to get some printed up, and then I do think I think we have somewhere around here a laminator, and if not, we'll try to figure out how to get at least one for the coordinator, the volunteer coordinator.
Along with
And
the clipboard
and the
and
clipboard.
whatnot, that thing.
And then I think the next thing is making sure, because we probably won't meet till then, that Robert's sign gets to you, because, well, he's gonna be shadowing you on the 22nd of June.
Right.
So just probably need to get it there a half hour early.
I'll get it to him before then, so we can have it in his place.
See, you're way ahead of me.
And, Robert, when you have it ready, just contact Paul, he'll give you my address. My, email address is actually on the website, so you could email me and I could meet you. I can drive to your place and pick it up, for that matter.
Well, Robert's is very easy, it's right.
Yeah, it's right across the street. Mine's not too bad either.
I know.
I
We're
will
very
be
happy.
ordering the porta potty on Monday for delivery on the 21st. They'll call me. I've already talked with Bonnie Burgers where it's going, and it'll be around the backside, not visible from the street, to try to limit vandalism, but very visible from anybody attending.
Yeah, and we still have to get Bonnie Burgers to sign our agreement or,
The whole harmless, yeah.
yeah.
or at least for them to sign off on it, yeah.
Yes, I will be taking a copy to them tomorrow. The owners are in the morning, they do a breakfast thing and lead up to lunch. Okay, so, and I told them I would bring one by. Logan,
Yes.
we have on the agenda an update on, survey thing. Are we proceed? Let's, honestly, let's ask, do we need to proceed with it?
I don't think we need to, we're
I don't
already past
either.
that point.
I-
Yeah,
that's
I think
what I
that
thought.
the point for doing that was to gauge
The
what
interest.
the interest and to see who might actually be out there and what they might have, and I don't think it's necessary at this point.
Thank you, I agree.
Yeah.
We can drop that off of future agendas.
I think, just my opinion, we'll leave it to the committee sometime in the fall, when we have a meeting, sort of, we're gonna wanna do a little review and debrief of the, success of the farmer's market. At that point, we may hear things when people come to the farmer's market that might generate a future, survey, but at this point, it's unnecessary.
Yep.
At least my opinion. So if you're all right with us removing that, that's great. The only other things I had on the agenda were a little carryover. Probably no reason to talk about farm trails on this at this point, because I think that's something we'll talk about later. But, Dr. Harrell, unfortunately, our other committee person is not here. She has suggested, I sent her an email, like, any more ideas on doing some workshops in here on agriculture. But I think, our committee member, Hosan, has also sent to everybody, some stuff on the olive industry, and I think the committee might consider some thoughts on that, and maybe even hosting a committee meeting that's specifically related to the olive industry, what we can do as a group to do it. But Dennis, any thoughts on?
That's exactly, what I thought, that, we need to set a date that these landowners, that grow the olives can show up and, and talk about the problems, the markets, possibly some good news, and share it. And then, and possibly try to start up, an olive association.
Co-op
Yeah.
association.
Co-op that's kind of a big step.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, Olive Growers Association.
Yeah. Starting out.
Do you know if Bill Carter is actually buying from
I
growers?
don't think so. I doubt it.
They were buying from overseas, but I heard they had stopped doing that and were only contracting with larger orchards.
One of the big, the olive, I don't know the company, but growers in Corning, they planted tons of the new, the tight spacing and.
Oh, that's just for olive oil.
Right,
There were
well,
particular.
so that they sunk in a huge amount of dollars, and they were part of the association, and then Bill Carter didn't buy their olives.
I thought they were selling to someone else and processing them as oil.
Well, I mean, there's several people doing it, and,
Okay.
well, there's this one big, processing plant, a brand new big one, and that's in, it's Artois.
Oh, okay.
And
Just
so,
south of Orland.
so these new type of plantings were going to sit
Right.
there. And then the company that owns that didn't buy it from certain producers, wouldn't buy it. Here they sunk in millions
Yeah.
and wouldn't buy it. And I mean, that was just a huge problem.
Okay,
But that's not an uncommon story of all agricultural products, in many ways, right? I mean, you're taking a risk, especially for, if it's grapes or walnuts or anything else that take a long time to get to your product. But I do think that we may wanna just consider setting a date, maybe July, just kinda throwing it out there, and an ag committee meeting that is olive
Just almost.
olive focused, and we probably need to outreach to some people, I don't know them, but if you've got contacts specifically that are olive growers here, or elsewhere, and get them committed to being here, to basically talk about their opportunities, their challenges, and what they think might be some options in the future. And if we can help, like facilitating the farmer's market, if we can help facilitate an olive growers association, let that association decide whether they wanna go the co-op route or the marketing route or
Sure.
the whatever else route they may wanna go, because that's how associations kinda have to decide what's in their best
Mhm.
interest.
very good. Anything else to be brought up?
Well, I can send out a note asking what people's availability would be, but, the first 2 weeks of July are not usually very good because you got 4th of July and traveling and all the rest of that stuff. The third Wednesday is a board meeting for us, so maybe 4th Wednesday of July,
At the latest, because, olives will start coming on, late September, October.
When do you normally harvest them?
I wait I harvest green and I cure them. And I wait until the first olives on my tree start to show a little color. They'll start to turn just a little, in a little spot, a little purple. And that's when I harvest them.
Is that like October, November?
It all varies depending on the weather. Yeah. There's about a 2.5 week window, usually.
We pull ours when they're fully black. We just have one little tree, but we pull
Right.
ours when they're fully black.
Oh, well, but yeah, if you do that, and then salt cure them.
We
Green
water
olive
around,
style.
yeah.
I do a green olive as well.
This was a huge olive place at one time, because
About
Still-
1,800 acres.
there's still tens of thousands of olive trees left.
Oh, yeah.
I have 32 of them.
Good. I have over 400.
I know, and mine just fall on the ground because there's nothing to do with them.
Okay, so are we looking at the last week, the last Wednesday?
July 24th, yeah.
July 24th?
We'll just set that kind of tentatively. I guess I would ask maybe Dennis if you could reach out to a couple of your contacts in that, and then send me an email confirming that they could make it to the meeting on that day, and then we'll set it and.
Yeah, I think definitely we need to do some telephone calling and pass the word.
I would also like to see it on the school's marquee, in the newsletter. It goes out the 1st of July with the bills, things like that. I don't think I would want to do a flyer. There aren't that many olive growers. So I think if we do it that way, we'll see what kind of response we can get.
Well, I think, again, there's a lot on my plate right now, and I think if we have it in July, it helps give us a little bit of time for those of you that have contacts to reach out to them.
Absolutely.
We'll figure out how to get it on the marquee. There's a little bit of challenge during summer
That's
school
true.
type thing is, they're always seem to be changing their secretary and their contact for that, so every time it's like 2 weeks later, we reach out to the same person who put the current
Yeah.
marquee up there, and they say, oh, they're no longer here anymore, or they're not doing anymore. We'll work on that, definitely something in the newsletter, and if you have some contacts in which you want us to send a direct request and inquiry, kind of let us know, but I think the phone call, informal, making sure a couple of them are at least gonna be here today. And if they say, oh, we're, you know, we're fishing in Cabo or something, then we'll move it a week or two either way to make
Right.
sure the key players are here.
The other thing that would be probably posted on Friends of Happy Valley too.
Yeah.
You know, do a couple things like that. Well, we'll give it a shot. All right.
I think-
intend to.
I think it's a fantastic idea, and I think it's, as Robert even said, is like, somehow if there's a way in which we can facilitate people coming together to have a conversation about how to do something with our latent olive,
An awful lot of
industry.
trees.
Yeah, and then, you know, to top it off, if a lot more of these people that own the olives started watering them, you'll be, selling a lot more, water.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a
yeah,
nice
that's not-
byproduct for sure.
that's-
Yeah.
Not the point.
Yeah, but obviously, we would like, you know, I mean, not to get overly philosophical, but, you know, one of the challenges the district has, created in 1967, we've got a 15,300 acre foot a year water allocation and contract. We've just, because we paid off the Wind Act, we've just got that in perpetuity. Primarily an ag supporting district. In the last 50 years, you've seen kind of that rural residential thing grow up, right? And, which is good, we need more connections, but the ag water use has, because of the repeated pounding by our droughts, and you combine that with the market conditions, with olives and all the rest, I mean, it is really hard. We are not selling a lot of agricultural water, and, you know, someday down the road, maybe the Bureau or somebody comes along and says, oh, you're not really an ag, or an ag combo district, so.
Except we do know that with the way the Bureau is changing things, that we will probably never again have a zero allocation for M&I/ag, whatever. So hopefully, that will be.
We appreciate their comments. It's really easy for the Bureau to say that in a fully allocated, unrestricted year. But, you know, when they're back in a March or April of a 2022 cycle, which by the way, will probably be back in 2028, they may not remember that they once said that. Hopefully.
Who knows? If they manage it better, we'll see. Yes,
One last thing to roll back to a previous comment. What about having a suggestion box at the, like, manager table, so to speak, at the farmer's market? So
Not a
that
bad
way,
idea.
at the end of the season, when everything gets reevaluated by the committee, seeing was it successful, what needs to be changed, whatever, you can re-review over what people had said over the course of the farmer's market. So if they notice something as a consumer, public person, or a vendor, of what needed to be better, what didn't need.
about 40% will be positive, helpful, and 60% will be fire fodder.
All right.
So,
It's all good.
I like the suggestion, and I task you with making one.
Okay.
Delegate.
Delegate.
I already do enough, jeez.
I know, but set up your tripod and your phone and have people get on there and say, this is the best farmer's market in Shasta County, and then put it on Facebook.
Last call, any comments, anybody? From the public, from the board, from anybody? No. It is 7:06, and this meeting is adjourned. Let's go ahead and turn on the microphone. And,